more than a few days later, and we're exactly where we left off. Keeping as close to heritage skill sets as possible, we're going to break out our Allen key to get that in there, mix it up so we can pour it out, and our DeWalt drill. Next thing you're going to want is a blender filled just a little bit with some warm water, not hot water, but warm water. And get that goopy brain matter into there so you can blend it all up. Now that you've got what you can out of the bear skull, it is also very popular and sort of a more modern practice just to use egg yolks, which it's said that any animal skull on Earth has enough brain to tan its own hide, but we're just going to go the extra step and throw in a little bit of egg yolk. I mean, the more fat we can get into that, probably the better, right? Bear brain smoothie. Still a bunch of meat to cut off this guy, but we're going to try and preserve the skull. So in the interim, we're just going to throw it in a bucket of cold water and let this stuff all corrode and whatever. Now that you've got your tanning solution mixed up and your hide laid down flat, here we're just a little bit vertical, you can go ahead and start dumping it on your hide. Acting as an emulsifier, all the brain and the fats from the yolk and stuff are meant to permeate into the hide and just sort of loosen everything up and keep those fibers that you've separated apart in themselves. The water within the mixture just sort of acts as a carrier for the fat and rehydrates the hide a little bit so that all that fat can really permeate into those fibers. Once you've got the emulsion applied, you're going to take something like a paddle is pretty perfect and just start pushing it into the stretch of the hide so that it can break down those fibers even further and get that brain tanning solution down in there. So I'm not sure how they would have done this traditionally, but once you've worked it out with your paddle a whole bunch, go ahead and lay some garbage bags down on top of it because you don't want that emulsion to dry too quickly. You want it to saturate into those fibers. I guess probably heritage-wise, they would probably just lay another hide down on top of it. You also don't want any bugs getting in there or flies laying larvae. And we'll just let this sit and saturate overnight, come out, scrape whatever we can off, and reconstitute it if need be in case it needs a second pass. As you can see, it's all kind of dried between the emulsion, hide, and plastic. Which is fine, because now you're going to go in, move around, and scrape off whatever of the emulsion you can, getting off some more of that fiber that's kind of raised and loosened up as well from the emulsion process. Given that the hide is also slightly rehydrated from your solution of emulsion, bare brains, water, and yolks, you're also kind of resupporting your hide with a bit of a wet fleshing kind of follow-up scrape to your initial fleshing way back in that video. For the most part, it's looking like today's scraping is more flesh than it actually is last night's emulsion. So it's my thought that this stuff, rather than reconstituting as a secondary emulsion for application today, I'm thinking that this is going to make a better hide glue than anything. So we'll throw this in with our dry scrapings, and we'll just throw together today's emulsion with some yolk. Now that you've completed your final and most thorough dry scraping of your hide and you've gotten your last layer of emulsion off, you can take all of these scrapings and you can actually just save them in a jar. You'd think that the yolk, because it is the egg yolk, you'd think it would smell and rot over time, but it actually doesn't. It'll last you a couple of weeks, especially if you keep it in the fridge. And if you have another hide or a second pass, which, you know, we've already done our second pass and these are the scrapings, you can take this and add a little bit of warm water to it, throw it in a blender, and it will reconstitute it into a second pass or first pass emulsion. Given that we have another hide that we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, we're going to save this and go ahead with that. So now that your hide's all done up, you can get in and sew up whatever little holes there might be. Some of these are a little stretched out further than being able to be sewn on the rack. So we'll sew up whatever we can on the rack, then we'll cut it free from the rack and then just start sewing the other ones from there. And then you need to do a bunch of stretching with it, and eventually we're going to smoke this thing. So the next two videos will be the sewing, cutting it free, stretching, and then the smoking will be the final video of the course series. Thanks for sticking with us through all of these videos and enduring the process with us. Hope you enjoyed them, and I'll see you again for the next video.